Does anybody recognize this place? Well, it's Highway 90 near the Dead Sea. It had to be rerouted because of sinkholes, which are appearing at an alarming rate along the shorelines, making it dangerous to walk or drive. The Dead Sea is drying up. If no steps are taken, this famous touristic destination with great economic potential will become inhabitable. As Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinians share the Dead Sea's basin, it's not only Israel's problem. The environment clearly does not stop where governments and politicians draw political borders. As you can see in the map, the Middle East is located on the global desert belt. It is thus more exposed to climate change and the environmental crisis than other regions. Yet, it is less prepared to deal with those crises, given the wars, conflicts, and disagreements characterizing it. Clearly, politics and the environment are intertwined in the Middle East. The climate and environmental crisis in this region cannot be ignored, and no country can solve them alone. In academia, however, we tend to ignore those entanglements. The environment of the Middle East and politics and society are not studied or researched in tandem, ignoring the fact that no problem on the one side of the list that you can see here can be solved without dealing with its corresponding problem on the other side. Going back to the Dead Sea, if we want to save it, we must learn the languages, history, and culture of Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinians, local and regional politics and agendas, national narratives, dynamics within local societies, sensitivities, and past experiences. Similarly, to understand Egypt's current policies, we need to grasp its historical dependency on the Nile for its existence, as well as the dire situation of this river and the drop in its flow due to both climate change and human activity. It is here that the proposed MA program for outstanding students at the Department of Middle Eastern and Islamic Studies comes in. Our university, which has Israel's most diverse student body with over 40% of BA students coming from Arab communities, is the ideal setting for this program. Its diversity and cultural richness and the multiple ethnicities, religions, and languages defining its students' body and faculty make it the ideal place to study and understand Middle Eastern societies comprehensively. My name is Professor Yuval Ben Bassat. I'm a historian of the modern Middle East, specializing in the late Ottoman Empire in the Levant. In recent years, I began focusing on environmental issues. I always had an interest in history and the environment, but I assumed that those two disciplines were on parallel tracks that would never intersect. I came to realize that topics such as history can contribute greatly to our understanding of the climate and environmental crisis in the Middle East and vice versa. Let me give you an example from my current research. I'm a member of a research group engaged in studying traditional agriculture in Israel's southern coastal plain, where farmers tended a variety of cultivars adapted to semi-arid harsh environment for hundreds of years until the war in 1948. Specifically, we examined grapes called the buki, which have survived without being tended for 80 years now and still produce wonderful yields, as you can see in the picture. History helps us here to understand how agriculture can deal with the effects of rising temperatures, water shortage, and the challenges of climate change. The suggested MA program will give students tools to locate and analyze many more such examples. It will deal with topics which greatly affect Middle Eastern societies, facilitate cooperation across the region on environmental topics, and mesh with the university's research agenda and social goals. Can the environment really serve as a bridge between societies and countries in the Middle East and help us bypass rifts and disagreements? It may seem unrealistic today, but the risk of not trying is too high. The gains, if we succeed, are enormous. Thank you.